Alderman Karas is absent. Alderman Rummel.
Here.
Alderman Notes.
Here.
Alderman Preschlack is absent. Alderman Goshgarian.
Here.
Alderman Bushman.
Here.
Alderman Weber.
Here.
Great. Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum. Could I please have a motion and a second to appoint Alderman Morris as Mayor Pro Tem?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Well, thank you. This is quite an event. This is the first meeting since August of 2021. We're actually here together in one room with all of the public safety chiefs, the department heads, the department staff, and the city council members. So it's very nice to see all of you. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Join me.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So the first section of our agenda tonight is for comments from the mayor. As I said, I'm welcoming all of you to this first session, but Mayor Pandalone, who couldn't be here tonight, asked me to read a brief welcome from himself, from the mayor, and perhaps the members might want to comment afterwards. But Mayor Pandalone said, "Welcome back to City Hall. It's wonderful that we can finally meet in person again, and I'm very sorry that I can't be here tonight to enjoy it. It certainly has been a very challenging 2 years, but it seems that some normalcy is returning. By now, both the benefits and the difficulties of collaborating via Zoom are apparent to everyone. I am hopeful that getting back to meeting in person will positively affect this council's ability to work together constructively on our issues ahead. So please have a great first meeting back in our City Hall chambers." So thank you, Mayor Pandalone. I don't know if I'll give an opportunity, anybody else wants to comment? Alderman Bushman?
Well, it certainly is good to be back and to see the familiar faces, not on a TV screen, but in person, and also the staff here, and to recognize that an opportunity to see and work personally with you, and welcome Alderman Lubia. You did have one meeting, I think we did try one meeting here since you've been elected, so welcome. And it certainly is a pleasure to have the opportunity of seeing everyone and working together with people that, you know, over the years we have had wonderful relationships with. Thank you.
Alderman Rummel?
Yeah, I just want to take this opportunity to thank both the mayor and our staff for bringing us through the past 2 years. And adapting and making our meetings happen pretty seamlessly. The transition to Zoom was pretty painless, and so thank you. It was certainly a group effort, and you all pulled it off without a hitch, and so thank you for all of that leadership.
Very good. All right. With that, I'm going to move on to resolution of appreciation for someone who's been a real stalwart in our community, taking care of all of us as the Community Development Department managed all of their responsibilities. This is a resolution of appreciation for the retirement of Paul D. Peterson. So I'd like to read the resolution, and then afterwards we'll have a little follow-up. But Paul, if you'd like to make a few comments after I read this, you're welcome to do that. Whereas Paul D. Peterson has been a dedicated employee of the City of Lake Forest since November 17th, 1997. And whereas Paul will honorably retire from the city on March 11th, 2022. And whereas Paul served in various positions during his career with the city maintenance worker 2 in the Public Works Department, and building inspector supervisor, and code enforcement officer in the Community Development Department. Whereas Paul took great pride in the community and the city organization and served as a respected, professional, and skilled face of the city. And whereas Paul listened to complaints about vacant property, fences, compost piles, lights, stormwater, yard signs, pigs, chickens, and more. Remember that. And whereas Paul was a problem solver, compassionate, creative, patient, and when necessary, tough. And whereas Paul almost single-handedly handled the pre-sale home inspections during the pandemic as our home sales soared to probably double what they had been in the past. And whereas Paul routinely concluded monthly community development department staff meetings with a joke or two, and with trivia from television shows from the 1960s and 70s. Very good. And whereas Paul was always there with his coworkers, offering a cheery good morning, and in times of stress, repeating in his words of wisdom, "Don't worry, it will be okay." And whereas Paul will be missed by his colleagues and friends throughout the city organization and the community, and we wish you well in your future endeavors. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Lake Forest that the council, on behalf of the entire city organization and our residents, hereby expresses its appreciation and gratitude to Paul D. Peterson for public service faithfully and honorably performed. And be it further resolved that this resolution be appropriately inscribed and conveyed to Paul Peterson, with a copy to be included in the official minutes of March 7th, 2022 meeting of the City Council. Thank you very much. Would you like to maybe come up and say a few words on maybe a joke or two?
Well, it's definitely real now. This is it. Alderman Morris, thank you very much for the kind words. I would like to say that it's been an honor and a privilege to serve the great city of Lake Forest and its wonderful citizens for this almost 25 years. And it's also been a privilege to work with the most dedicated professionals for city staff that have offered me so much support over the years. They've truly helped me very much and are definitely the best of the best. And I thank them for everything as well. And thank you all for everything and having the opportunity to work for the city of Lake Forest. And last but not least, I'd also like to thank my wife and my son, my wife Mary and my son PJ, who's here this evening, for all their support over the years. There's been a lot of times when I've had to work overtime, especially when I was in water and sewer. Missed a couple of holidays on main breaks, but made sure that I made it up to everybody. But again, I'd like to, Alderman Morris, I'd like to thank you, members of council. Thank you for all your support over the years, and Jason and Kathy and all the city staff. It's just been, it's been a fantastic ride, and I wouldn't change a thing. And I'll say farewell. I won't say goodbye. I hope to see everyone soon.
Stick around. So we have a photo op coming. So thank you. We'll get an official version of this, but we'll do this for the record. Thank you very much. Very good. All right. Thank you. We'll give that to you. Thank you, sir. And we'll get an official version.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Official, we need a motion to approve the resolution.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? No? The motion carries. Thank you very much. Okay, I think we can move on to agenda item number 2, which are comments by the city manager.
Great. Thank you very much, Alderman Morris, and Paul, thank you again for your many years of service. Aside from all of his professional talents, I'll note he's also a remarkable grill master and cook. So we look forward to seeing you at our employee chili cook-off next month. So, good, glad to, good. So I have one item tonight, and that is a presentation from our Public Works Director, Michael Thomas. As you know from recent correspondence, the impending ComEd bridge replacement project is just a few weeks away, and I've asked him to provide a brief presentation and to make sure he can address any comments or questions that the City Council has tonight. Mike?
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, members of the City Council. 2 years ago. I haven't said those words live for 2 years. Very strange. We wanted to present yourselves and the residents watching at home an update of not only the ComEd Bridge, but the entire Deer Path corridor. Three items, and we're going to start off with the red box, the IDOT project. The pump station is going very well. They've got more equipment and a lot more work they've got to do in that building. That's going to run through December of this calendar year. They've got a generator building that they're going to be putting up behind a very small enclosure right now, behind the main building. But that, for the most part, is going to wrap up the IDOT project with one exception. IDOT will be resurfacing Deer Path. They're paying for the resurfacing of Deer Path from Westmoreland to west of the creek, to the bridge. They're doing that entire stretch. That's important for the next two items. We're going to move then to the water main. The water main, as City Council approved, is going to start the week of December 21st. You actually are going to see them out there next week potholing, which is essentially them locating all the utilities. They've got to figure out the exact elevations, because rather than open cut the water main, we're going to directional bore it. We're going to drill underground. And to do that, they need to know the depth of the gas main and AT&T and all of that stuff. They're going to start doing that next week, and then they will begin in earnest the week of the 21st. We wanted them to start then because with the ComEd Bridge, we're going to actually be closing Deer Path right at Ahwahnee Lane. We wanted the water main contractor to take advantage of Deer Path being completely closed, essentially from Ahwahnee Lane to the bridge. So we wanted them to do it during spring break, and while Deer Path was closed. They've got two crossings that they need to do to hook up with the water main. They've got one at Ahwahnee Lane, they got one at Ahwahnee Road. Ahwahnee Lane, Ahwahnee Road, where they are literally going to be crossing Deer Path. What's the best time to do it? Spring break, coupled with ComEd having Deer Path closed, so that's why we put it all together. That project then will continue on. We expect them to be completed by mid-May if everything goes okay. They'll actually be, as I said, directional boring that pipe. They're going to push it under the creek, and it'll pop up on the other side east of the creek, and we'll make the connection into the 8-inch there. That's the water main project. Then we go to the bridge. And the bridge, there's been a good amount of coordination over the past year and a half. ComEd has been working on the design of the bridge. They went out to bid. They had a bid opening last Tuesday, 3 weeks prior, I believe February 8th. They finally awarded the project to a contractor this past Thursday morning. So up to that point, it has been extremely tense to say, is this happening, yes or no? This is a very big deal to us. But they ultimately did hire the contractor. Luckily, it's the exact same contractor that we're going to be using for the Illinois and Woodland bike path bridges, FH Passion. FH Passion is a company internationally known. They build bridges all the time, and these three bridges to them are very simple. So we met with FH Passion this morning, ComEd, we met with IDOT, we've had everybody together, and they have said, yes, we will get this thing down in 1 week. So it will be the week of spring break. We have one change to the letter that Dana sent you on Friday. The letter had said that we were going to close Deer Path at 6 a.m. Saturday. We are going to close it at 6 p.m. Friday. Why? When we met with the contractor this morning, he said, I need that 7-day period. I really need to start working on this thing Saturday morning? I need to have my equipment there, staged, ready to go. I want to bring the equipment in Friday. And we said that would be fine. School will be out 6 p.m. Friday the 18th. We will close it right at Awani Lane, so anybody between Awani Lane and Green Bay can still travel fine. But then they'll bring their equipment in and they will begin Saturday morning. The ComEd project, the bridge project, right now is estimated to be completed sometime in early August. They're going to tear this bridge down completely. They're going to build a brand new bridge. There are 2 items that are hard to get. Epoxy rebar, which is used in the precast deck beams that are going to be installed. That has got about a 16-week lead time. Then the panels themselves, the bridge, which we will see on the abutments, those have a very long lead time as well. So it was good that ComEd last Thursday finally awarded the project because those orders are now submitted. Our whole goal out of all of this is that all of this work gets done and then Peter Baker comes in and resurfaces Deer Path at the very end. We can turn everything back to the community. Deer Path will be clean. It'll look great. Chuck and his guys, Parks and Forestry, they are going to be planting the pump station. They're going to be planting the embankments adjacent to the bridge. So all of that's going to be going on as well. And we hope again to have this sometime in August. That is the goal. If we get pushed back a few weeks, then we may have to resurface Deer Path while school is in session, but we will do it between 9 and 3. We won't let them start at 8 a.m. and we won't let them go past 3. So that is the update on those 3 items. You'll start to see signs going up probably later this week. You'll see locate flags because the signs are going into the ground. They've got to figure out where everything goes. The water main contractor has called for locates as well. So I just would like to thank the community one more time for their patience. I know it was a long year last year. It's going to be a long year this year, but I think in the end, ultimately, the glass is half full. And it's half full because Deer Path 41 flooding situation is getting fixed 100% on IDOT's dime. We're going to be getting a new bridge that ComEd's paying for. We have a 20-inch transmission main on the north end of the golf course we've never been able to access. Now we'll be able to access it, God forbid something happens. The bridge will be able to hold 80,000 pounds. We'll be able to get our equipment up on the north end. So that, again, is being paid by ComEd. We're getting Deer Path resurfaced, paid by the state. So I'm trying to tell everybody the glass is half full, not half empty. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions from the members? Alderman Rowan.
I sent an email earlier, and I just wanted to be sure that we send out enough notice to everybody in their mailboxes. And I was thinking about Wesley Road because I think a lot of this traffic that the recommended route is going to be Wesley Road. So I was just wondering if it might be worth our while to let those neighbors also know that this is happening and that they might experience more traffic on Wesley Road. Not only them, but where does the bike traffic go? So maybe we also should reach out to some of the local bike clubs and let them know that this won't be accessible. And again, perhaps the bike clubs when we're doing the Illinois and Woodland Bridge as well, to just let them know, because even this weekend with the good weather, the cyclists were out like crazy, and all you need is a couple good days and that traffic really increases. So just some thoughts.
So the letter is an excellent idea. We sent 455 letters out Friday morning. Essentially Green Bay, Valencia, Route 60, Waukegan, Hospital. We made that square to say in that general area. But I think, and we did this with the beach when we brought all that stone in, we went ahead and sent letters to the residents on Wesley and Sheridan essentially saying, heads up, there's gonna be a lot of truck traffic. So you are right, the detour is going to be Green Bay to Wesley, and it's probably a good idea that we expand that and let everybody know that Green Bay and Wesley is going to be it. So we will do that. I know we've already reached out, I think, to one of the bike clubs, but we'll reach out to more of them. And then I'll work with Carl and Pete as they observe and we all observe what that bike traffic is like coming down Wesley, because it's essentially going to be Wesley, Green Bay, West Laurel, and it's just going to be back and forth. So as they see and as any of us see, if we've got to put up additional signage or your idea of different lights highlighting people to slow down, we will do that as well.
Yeah, I think the slowdown on Wesley is a great idea, that there may be increased bike traffic, because they're just not used to seeing that.
Right.
And you know, Chief's back there, but I think people are going downhill on Wesley and tend to pick up some speed a lot.
Yep.
So, great, thank you.
We'll cover those, thank you.
Does your signage include any of those electronic signage boards or any of that kind of stuff?
We spoke about that this morning, that we're going to look to have a couple of electronic signboards. I know they're big and they don't look nice, but
I get the
it's a
message
great
out.
way of letting the community know that starting Saturday morning, Friday evening, the 18th, Deer Path will be closed for a week. The contractor again said, and they know full well, sometime on Sunday the 27th, I said, I don't care if it's 10 a.m. or 10 p.m., but Deer Path has to open back up. School starts the next morning, so they'll get it done.
Oh, I know what else I wanted to ask. Do you have a picture of the new bridge?
We have, not of the actual new bridge. I can show you a couple. Is that a good one, or that's a better one? I'll start with that. So the bottom picture, these are engineering design drawings. So we do not have a picture of the final, of the actual, what it's going to look like. But that essentially is showing what we call these MSE walls, and then the railing. So in working with Kathy in the Community Development Department, for the railing that is going to go up, we're going to mimic the same one that is over the creek at Public Safety. We wanted to use that same railing so there was consistency. As far as the wall's going to have this horizontal block looking like structure, but it's going to have this color and texture. This is the same color and texture that is on the South Beach access wall, something that is very plain and sort of blends in. And as I said, Chuck and the guys in Parks and Forestry are going to be planting adjacent to the abutments, just that whole block from Awani Lane down on both sides around the pump station, all of that. So that is the most we have.
So we're losing the Art Deco kind of,
Yes, this is, as we said before, ComEd's bridge, they own it, their jurisdiction.
no, I understand.
So I'll say they were very good to work with, but they essentially said, here's the box. Go ahead and pick a couple things out of the box, but this is what we're gonna put up.
Yeah, no, I
And they
just want
allowed us
residents to understand that, that we really didn't have a choice, but I would imagine we might hear something about it.
We might, yes.
Is there any way to address the timing of the traffic lights with the increased traffic moving east to west on Wesley or Old Elm?
We are actually looking at the Wesley lights now to see if we can. We met with police and fire. One of the things that we talked about internally, especially the week of the 19th or the 21st, will be getting that Opticon to trip on Wesley. So as you head down Green Bay Road, as you pass Owensia, it curves. And we just want to make sure that if police and fire have got to get west and they're going down Green Bay, that there's enough opportunity for that Opticon to click and traffic clears out. We have had an engineer look at all of that stuff. We're going to meet with them this week to see if there's a way that we can increase timing. We had done that before. Alderman notes, if you remember your request, we went ahead and, from what we were told, maximized our north-southbound timing on Green Bay. I wanted to ask the question again because of all the traffic that was going to be coming down Green Bay. Wesley has plenty, of time, but Wesley at that point has a lot of traffic.
Yeah,
going
I mean,
both ways.
I'm
So,
just coming
yes.
from the fourth ward, from Ray and I all the way, will certainly add commute time, and I think that the Parks and Rec Department have some wonderful camps happening, and just everybody trying to get through. So, yeah, if that can be looked at, that's great.
On top of it, as our city manager noted at the previous meeting, we are looking at Deer Path as well, putting together a school release plan and looking at the timing on those 3 lights as well. So
Thank you.
that's all being worked on as we speak.
One more thing, the Country Day School, when I go down Green Bay, the parents going south and north, both are trying to make left and right turns into the parking lot off of Green Bay. Maybe you should talk to the day school about a different pickup strategy, so that, because it's very clogged without any traffic.
Excellent point. See if they can go in off Alencia and pick up off the side.
Right.
That's a great point, because,
Because it's gonna be tough.
yeah, all of the traffic is gonna head down Wesley. It's either gotta go Wesley or 176 to go west for that 1 week period. After that 1 week period, they will have flaggers. And the nice thing compared to last year is that the flaggers are gonna be very close to one another. It's truly just in that area. Last year, the flaggers were spread out all along Deer Path. So they'll be able to react quicker than what they had last year, especially for public safety. So,
Other comments? All right. Well, thank you, Director.
thank you.
Appreciate that. Distressing news.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And I'll just note that while no question it's going to be a bit of a disruptive project, I want to give a lot of kudos to Mike Thomas, to Byron and their teams. The persistence required in working with ComEd to ensure that this was going to happen over the week of spring break, it required a lot of work over the course of many months, but really I think as disruptive as the project is, you couldn't ask for a better week for this work to occur. So kudos to them for making that happen.
Well done.
And then just one final reminder for the council. Next Monday night, our budget workshop will be held in person at Dickinson Hall. For reminder for the council and the community, workshop begins at 5 o'clock, and you should have received your packet for the meeting earlier today, and we'll have it up on the website in short order. So we'll see you next Monday at Dickinson Hall.
Very good. Thank you.
And that concludes my report.
Any other questions for the city manager? If not, that takes us to opportunities for citizens to address the city council. I don't see too many citizens here, but if anybody knows of citizens, no? I think we're gonna take a pass on that one.
There's no raised hand?
No raised hands, no.
Do we have a
No.
call-in feature yet? Or, I mean, do we have that capability? No.
No, not in the past.
We haven't traditionally done it for in-person meetings. Certainly it's a capability we could look at. There are a few logistical challenges. I'm not sure I'd advise it at this point, but if it's important to the council, we can look into it.
Just a thought.
Keep with tradition. Very good. Committee reports. I don't have any on my agenda for committee reports tonight, which takes us back to item number 5, items for omnibus vote consideration. So I'll read through these, and then if anyone wants to take one separately, please let me know. But number 1, approval of the February 22nd, 2022 City Council meeting minutes. Number 2, approval of the check register for the period January 29th to February 25th, 2022. Approval of resolutions required for bank purposes to amend authorized signers on our city bank accounts. Number 4, approval and authorization for the Lake Forest Fire Department to enter into an agreement with Andes Medical Billing Limited for ambulance billing services for a period of 5 years. Approval of a request for the Cemetery Commission to purchase cremation niche fonts of the cost of $190,500 as part of the Memorial Garden Phase 2 project. Approval of the annual tree purchasing for fiscal year 2023. Award of the low bid for the 2022 crack ceiling project to Patriot Improvement Patriot Pavement Maintenance Incorporated, and authorize the city manager to execute an agreement in the amount not to exceed $35,000. Number 8, approval of the 2022 Pavement Management Program to Infrastructure Management Services, and authorize the city manager to execute an agreement in the amount not to exceed $125,000. Number 9, award of the low bid for Waveland Park and Forest Avenue 2022 parking lot improvements to Manville Construction, and authorize the city manager to execute an agreement in the amount of $397,912.78, as well as approving a 10% contingency in the amount of $39,791.27, for a total cost of $437,704.05. And the approval of a purchase from Carbon Day EV Charging in the amount of $24,426 for 2 EV charging stations. Number 10, approve a 2-year agreement for Midwest Power Industry Incorporated to replace water treatment plant variable frequency drives included in the fiscal 2023 and fiscal 2024 capital improvement budget for the sum of $362,511, plus a 5% contingency of $18,125, for a total of $380,636. Number 11, considering an ordinance approving recommendations for the Building Review Board, first reading, and if desired by the council, final approval. Consideration of a recommendation from the Plan Commission in support of a tentative and final plat approval of the James Shepherd subdivision for property addressed at 1361, 1371, and 1373 Edgewood Road. Are there any items that any of the members want to take separately?
Mr. Mayor Pro
Bushman.
Tem, I wonder if I could just ask some questions about item 6, and not take it off the agenda, omnibus agenda. And I don't see Corey here, but if I could direct my questions to Mr. Meyer.
Sure.
Thank you. This is the one that we're talking about, approval for acquiring 300 trees to add to the beauty of our city. I just curious as to how you see our current stock and any threats to the stock, whether it be in the ash or the bur oak or disease or infestations. Are we doing good in that regard or avoiding those problems?
Yeah, actually, as most of you are aware, for a number of years we'd come back to you talking to you about EAB, emerald ash borer, or Dutch elm disease. We are in pretty good shape with that. We've taken out most of the ash that were infested, and we are in good shape on that. We have been taking out Dutch elm disease trees for decades, and that's fairly consistent. We, about the same number every year. So overall, we are in pretty good shape. We're re-inventorying all of our street trees right now. We've been doing it over the last year or so, but we're stepping that up. But I have talked to Corey and his assistant quite a bit in the last few months, and they're feeling pretty good about it. So now it's just maintaining the trees that we lose. And of course, we continue to lose trees from storms, like Friday, Saturday night, we lost a few. So yeah, we're in pretty good shape.
That goes to my next question. Of the 300, are they all replacement trees, or is it additive to our current tree stock?
They are all replacements. We do an assessment now on any tree that we take out. We don't automatically put a tree back in. We do a pretty thorough look at the location and make sure that it makes sense. So there are a few places where we won't put trees back, and once in a while we do add one. We get a request, and if it makes sense, we do it. But by and large, they're replacement trees.
Thank you for the beautification.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions? If not, may I have a motion to approve the omnibus vote?
So moved.
A second? Sorry. I think we need a roll call.
Alderman Morris,
Aye.
Alderman Rummel,
Aye.
Alderman Notes,
Aye.
Alderman Gashgarian,
Aye.
Alderman Bushman,
Aye.
Alderman Weber.
Aye.
6 yeas, 0 nays. That motion carries.
Very good. Thank you. Which takes us close to the end. We don't have any old business for tonight, and I'm not showing on our agenda any new business, unless any of the members have any additional items from the council members that they want to bring up tonight. If not, we're heading towards adjournment. Very good. Well, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? None? Motion carries. The meeting is adjourned.
10 minutes over what you
10 minutes, oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thanks for making my first meeting so efficient.
Well, you got bedtime to look forward to.
Dad?